Good evening, Rockdale County. I hope we're all doing well today. I know I'm doing well today. It's a little bit, the weather's been a little bit crazy. I actually have spent the week in Las Vegas at a trade show. Had a very good show. Got to meet and talk to a lot of different folks and a lot of things that'll help the business. So I'm, excuse me, glad that I'm back and I'm glad that I'm here with you guys. So, first thing I want to do is, talk to some folks that are in the room here. Good evening, Dan Burks. Good evening, Megan Walker. Good evening, Mary Bosworth. Good evening, Tommy Lee. Glad to have you on the show tonight. William Campbell, great to have you here. We have people joining the show right now and coming in. So it's it's great to have the audience coming in, and great to have you guys coming on the show. George Kilichek, good evening, George Kilichek. Nice to have you here today. I'm actually going to mention the Big Haynes Creek Impoundment Authority tonight in one of my little segments. So glad to have you here tonight, George. Charlotte Gellert, nice to have you here tonight, Charlotte Gellert. As usual, I spoke to Charlotte earlier today about some issues. It was either today or yesterday. Things sort of get foggy sometimes when I'm talking to a lot of people over the weekend. I'm going to get started with one of the things that I sort of teased you guys with. It was about the heat grant, grant or no grant, who knows? And from what I've been told by some of my contacts, the answer to that is really who knows. We know the Citizen had broke a story that said that the heat grant had been suspended, and that a few days later, the sheriff released a press release saying that it had been reinstated. Well, I've got some friends in law enforcement that said, hold on, pull back on the reins on that. That might not be exactly true. Hello, CT, and hello, CJ Lester. They said that they didn't think that that it had been reinstated, that it was in the process of being reinstated, and there was some hoops that the county was having to go through a little bit. So and that the count that they were being looked at initially for other things besides the violation of the three officers, that there were already some discrepancies with the how the grant monies were being used. So what I would like to see is the sheriff has came out with a statement and a press release saying that the grant was going to be reinstated, and he references a letter in that statement. I'd like to see the letter. Could the sheriff's department please release the letter and let us read exactly what Director Poole and the agency says about that instead of hearsay? Because in a court of law, that's just hearsay, correct? He's saying it, but we don't actually have proof. I mean, he's saying that it's reinstated, but we don't see any proof that's reinstated. Just asking for some proof. I mean, especially with the sheriff's department, who I think has maybe an issue with the truth. I mean, had a death in the jail. There wasn't a video, and then mysteriously a bootleg video shows up with a young man passing away. Um, we've people escape from the jail, and you don't hear about it until they're pressured to say somebody escaped from the jail. And we've got two inmates that had walked away from the jail to this day that the sheriff's department has failed to notify the citizens of Rockdale County that we had two inmates that walked away from the jail, and they've yet to let the people know that happened. And we have a sheriff's department who has had a lot of officers that have gotten in trouble, and they try to keep this on the low. It's our taxpayer dollars, and we deserve to know the transparency in this. So if it is so, and Director Poole has sent this letter, then let's see the letter. That's what I'm asking. I'm asking, provide the proof, provide the letter. I do have some individuals who are asking for some ORRs, and this week we'll probably get access to whatever communications have been sent. So let's go ahead and be transparent. Go ahead and put that out there, and let's, instead of referencing the letter, let's see the letter. because the citizens deserve to see the letter. It's our money. It's our sheriff's department. We just entrust you to oversee it for us. It's actually our department. Folks, that's reality. That's actually our department that we're entrusting Eric Levitt to oversee. So I'd like to see the letter. Just want to see it. Let prove to me that what you're saying is accurate. Not calling you a liar, just want to see how accurate your statements are against what the letter actually says. Just want to see. Just asking. What about you guys? Do you want to see? How about in the chat? Do you guys want to see the actual correspondence that makes the statements that it should have never been taken away and that it has been reinstated? Do you want to see the letter? Let me see in the chat how many people want to see this communication. I'll just say I want to see the letter. So let me see the letter. Thomas, Tommy wants to see it. Mary Bolesworth, hell yes, she wants to see it. Dan Burks, let's see it. I think Charlotte Gellert, yes, she'd like to see the letter. Just a simple request. Show me the letter. The old lady in Wendy's, the commercial, show me the beef. Well, show me the letter. Same thing. Show me the letter. So, that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see the letter. That's what I'd really like to see. So, guys, I'd like, yeah, and Megan says yes, and not only that, but also see the cited reasons. I agree with you, Megan. Let's have total and open transparency regarding this issue. Let's have a transparent process that we, the citizens, know exactly what our tax dollars are paying for or not paying for, or what we're up against. Corliss Turner, show me. There must, and CJ Lester, there must be hiding something again. CJ, that would be my initial thought process also. If you're quoting something and not letting me see it, then there's also something in there you don't want me to see. You want me to know about the good thing, but not know about the other foot. So, yes, Dan, that's exactly right. The letter might include a reprimand. Or something that the department would deem negative, so they don't want to share that part of it. So, I take it at face value. It's hearsay. In my opinion, it is hearsay unless we see the letter, unless we see the proof. So, I've dug into that enough. I'm gonna move on, folks, and I'm going to talk about the Board of Commission, one of my other favorite topics, the Rockdale County Board of Commission. So these characters got a couple things on the drawing board that they're doing, okay? So the Rockdale Board of Commission is, they are requesting that they're going to vote this coming Tuesday on the SPLOST. They had put the SPLOST on the consent agenda in December, so there would be no discussion. So they're going to vote on it this coming Tuesday to approve the resolution so that it goes to the election board on Thursday to be voted on to put on the ballot. So this is my issue. And we had discussed this earlier, if I'm not mistaken. I had discussed a little bit about this a little earlier about the election, the SPLOST and my concerns with the SPLOST. And the Citizen also did an article on Friday. I'm not going to pull it up. It's going to talk to you a little bit about it. But the Citizen did a story saying that the city and the county have both allocated general amounts to the SPLOST. It also stated that they had not listed any specific projects because needs may change over the life of a SPLOST. Well, historically and in the past, the SPLOST committee has actually named specific projects, and we've had a line item list of projects that were going to be worked on. And when the citizens would vote on that, they would lock those dollars in and lock those projects in. Well, there was an email that had circulated in the county to some of the SPLOST members now got it, some didn't, just a few. And it stated that there wouldn't be no specific projects decided upon until after the SPLOST was voted for and the new SPLOS committee, which would be assembled after the vote, would then work on the specific projects. Um, what this is when we include this in the resolution and we include this in the ballot, we won't be on the ballot question, but it would be in the resolution that they would propose specific dollars to be spent on specific things, then that would be locked in. But the way they're doing it now, it is giving them an a la carte way to this money. It's giving them a general dollar amount that they can spend basically the way they want to. Let me ask you guys, this commission, these three commissioners, do you trust these three commissioners with an open checkbook? Do you really think that's a good idea to trust these individuals with the ability to spend money willy-nilly any way they want? Guys, we look at past spending practices, and the answer to that is not just no, but what does Larry say? Oh, hell no. That's right, guys. You can do it in the chat. That's not just a no. That right there is a oh, hell no, is what it is. That's right, CJ. Not just no, but hell no. That's right. It's a oh, hell no. And that's what, that's what we've got to look at is this is just totally ridiculous that they would, and then one of the things, well, there's no downside to it is what Commissioner Washington, said in the article, and same as Commissioner Williams, there's no downside to it. That there isn't necessarily that Rockdale citizens aren't the only citizens that actually spend tax dollars in Rockdale County. But Rockdale citizens spend the majority of those tax dollars in Rockdale County. And, anytime we add additional taxes that we're paying on goods and services, we deserve a say in how those funds are going to be spent. That's why there was never even a meeting discussing the total values that they put on these departments. None whatsoever. There was never one single meeting to determine what dollar numbers were going to go to any of these categories. Furthermore, if we recall, this commission has stated there are several priorities that exist in this county. Some of the priorities that exist in this county, they have stated, are infrastructure, water, sewer, and stormwater, that we are in dire straits when it comes to those categories. Not one single dime of the SPLOST categories covered those categories, which they identified as some of our most significant and dire needs in Rockdale County. Not only that, we have identified that the courthouse is in dire need of replacement because, they use the thing about it needs repair. The building's going to get repaired whether they maintain it as a courthouse or not. That's going to happen. So it's more of a space issue. I have spoke to several people that are in the courthouse, and they'll tell you, they have a space issue right now, especially with adding another judge, another state court judge, that that we need a different facility. I agree with that we need a different facility. I think that facility should be taken care of through SPLOST funding. Going to go into a little bit of a different thing right now. I am aware that this coming week that the Board of Commission is also going to present a resolution that they're going to ask the state legislature to create a facilities authority. And with this facilities authority, they intend to use revenue bonds to do facilities. So, guys, here's where I mentioned the Big Haynes Creek Impoundment Authority, the Rockdale County Water and Sewer Authority. These are two authorities that exist right now through legislative creation. And the only responsibility of the county and then the Big Haynes Creek Impoundment also includes the city. Their responsibilities are to appoint members to those authorities, those oversight authorities. There are no members currently serving on the Big Haynes Creek Impoundment Authority. There are 3 active members, I believe, on the Rockdale County Water and Sewer Authority, who has not met in 2 years. So we currently have two oversight authorities that were created by the legislature that this Board of Commission fails to maintain. The purpose of the oversight is to make sure that the funds that are spent properly, and we actually need the funds for the projects that they want the county to borrow money on. But if you don't have people in place and there are no oversight, then you just pretend to have an authority so that you have a revenue, an avenue to raise monies. So this is what we're being tricked into, having the local legislation create another authority. So I recommend all you guys reach out to your local legislators, contact them, because one of the things they told one of the local legislators this week was, yeah, we really need a new courthouse. We got beams exposed in the ceiling of the courthouse and such. Well, yeah, this is the thing. They've got $19 million allocated in this SPLOS to do repairs in the existing courthouse. So they've already allocated funds to make repairs to the existing building. Then they're going to get the legislature to create a facilities authority where they're going to pretend that they're going to do revenue bonds. Right now, and I asked the legislators to ask questions. In what way are they going to be able to collect funds from a courthouse to pay the revenue bonds? Because what funds and fines and such that are already there, I think, go already to pay different things that the funds are already allocated. And I believe those funds are allocated by the state legislature to where they go. So they would have to request those funds be reallocated to go to support a revenue bond. So, guys, what would happen? These guys get this facilities bond, this facilities authority approved. They go out, get some bonds, and then next thing you know, on your tax bill, there will be another line item with a bond and a tax rate and a part of a meal that you and I will be paying that out of general M&O, that they will be paying that out of M&O. If you trust this Board of Commission to establish another authority and believe they're going to operate it on the up and up, raise your hand. And my hand's going way down low. Like, the taxes are going lower. My hand's going lower, not higher, lower. So the answer for me, do I think that the Rockdale County Board of Commission should be given another authority to ignore? The answer is this, people. What is it? Oh, hell no. That's right. The answer is, oh, hell no. So, that's the way I look at that, guys. You've got this Board of Commission who is rampantly out of control, not trustworthy with your dollars. And, I do know that there are county employees that question the integrity of these three commissioners and their spending of tax dollars. That's right. There are county employees in high-level positions who question the integrity of these three commissioners when it comes to spending tax dollars. And that's a shame, guys. That's a shame that us citizens here in Rockdale County, that we have to tolerate this incompetence, and we have to tolerate the fact that our commission does what they want to, and they ignore the wants and the needs and the request of the people who elect them to office. Right? The citizens of Rockdale County deserve better. One of those commissioners, Doreen Williams, is up for re-election this coming year. I recommend that my friends that are Democrats that are going to be voting in that primary think long and hard before you push that ballot for Dr. Doreen Williams. We need to split this commission up. You guys need to nominate someone from your party who will stand up and who will say, oh, hell no. That's right. That won't just say no, but they will say, oh, hell no. Because Rockdale County, we've had enough. We've had enough of the nonsense. This has got to stop. And you can stop it. You can stop it at the ballot box, and you can stop it by contacting your local delegation, your House members, your state senators, and telling them to do the right thing by Rockdale County. That's what you can do. Charlotte, what did you say, Charlotte? Just like they ignored the recommendations of the courthouse review committee. 100%, Charlotte. That's exactly what they did. They ignored. I'm going to put that up. Let's hold them accountable for the money and see if the work gets done. I agree with you, CJ, 100%. So I think that the citizens of Rockdale County deserve better. And we need better. Just like they ignored the recommendations of the courthouse review committee, 100%, Charlotte. That is exactly what they did. They ignored it. I'm going to put a comment by by Megan Walker, what she believes. Megan Walker believes there are better options. EFAT Walker will fight for what's right. So you see that Megan Walker is going to support EFAT Walker. So that's promising to see that somebody is going to support somebody new. Yes, Laura Skelton, turning out the assembly place for the garbage debacle work. Let's do it again. You're right. The garbage debacle it was a key example of we stopped something in its tracks. And then CJ says all Doreen cares about is mental health, and that's 100%. Doreen, and that is a valid concern. CJ, you're not going to take that away from Doreen. It's a valid concern. But when you're a county commissioner, you're like a kitchen sink politician. Okay, county commissioners deal with everything, and when a county commissioner paints themselves in a corner and they're a one issue commissioner, then they are not serving the needs of the community. By becoming just such a one issue commissioner, Commissioner Williams is not doing her job, and the citizens of Rockdale County are not getting representation. And I've also talked with some members of the legislature, and the 5-member thing is sort of stalled a little bit because you've got some delegation members that are balking at it. This is what I can do as chairman of the Republican Party. As chairman of the Republican Party, I can actually request some ballot questions to be put on the Republican ballot in May. I have challenged the Democrat delegation to go to the Democrat Party leadership, ask them to put the same questions on the ballot that I intend to. I intend to put on the ballot, do you believe the Rockdale County Board of Commissioners should be expanded from 3 to 5? Yes or no? Do you believe the Rockdale County Board of Commissioners should be represented by districts? Yes or no? So these are 2 questions as chairman of the Republican Party that I'm going to be requested to be put on the ballot this coming primary season because they're getting a lot of pressure not to do 5 commissioners, and that's by these current 3 commissioners because they want to stall this process because they like the 2-1. They like the 2-1. One person gets you agree with one person, and an insane idea becomes reality. That's exactly what is happening in Rockdale County. One person agrees with one person, and insanity becomes reality. That's what we have here, guys. Yep. Let's put it on the ballot and see what people think. That's 100% what I'm going to do. I'm going to request, that the question be put on the ballot. We'll see what people think. And also, I mentioned that this coming Tuesday, the 25th, that's when the Board of Commission will be voting on the resolutions. The one resolution will be the resolution to extend the 1 cent splost. The other resolution will be the resolution that would create the facilities authority, to ask the legislature to do that. And then on Thursday, the Board of Elections has a meeting where they will take up the vote whether to put on the ballot the question to ask the citizens if they would like to extend the SPLOST. That's going to be, I think, an interesting meeting. Um, I think there may be some opposition to that at the meeting. I don't think that's ever been opposed at the meeting as far as to be voted against. I think that could happen this meeting. I think we may have one of the board members oppose that being put on the ballot, and with explanation. So I encourage you, if you can't go to the meeting is going to be streamed. I encourage you to stream that meeting and watch how that goes, because there could be some interesting developments at that meeting when it's brought to be voted on to put on the ballot. There could be some opposition to that. Whether there's enough votes to keep it off the ballot, I don't know. But if it does reach the ballot, I will tell you this, that the Rockdale voter group is already gearing up and preparing to challenge that piece of legislation. The Rockdale voter group is gearing up and they will be challenging the extension of the SPLOST. You will be seeing, if it does make it on the ballot, the vote no SPLOST signs will be going up. We will have members standing at precincts, standing at early voting with the vote no for the SPLOST. There will be a concentrated effort. We will be doing this on social media. We will be holding rallies and events. So the Rockdale voter group is really enthused and excited about fighting this piece of ballot initiative, because we think if it stands the way it is, and those key pieces of infrastructure are not included in it, water, sewer, stormwater, and the building of a new courthouse are not included in the SPLOST, then we feel that our monies are being spent irresponsibly, and that we should not allocate those funds for those municipalities to spend this coming cycle. Now, in another year, they could actually put it on the ballot again. And if they would, and if they don't include those specific projects, then the Rockdale voter group will again oppose that SPLOST. Because the citizens know what they want. The citizens want certain things. And it seems we want things that those in charge don't want. And it's time for us to get collectively together. It's time for these characters to listen to the citizens of Rockdale County and do the right thing by the citizens of Rockdale County. I think that we have an excellent opportunity to implement some change in this county. And with you, the citizens of Rockdale County, you're the ones that can do this. It's your voice, it's your say, it's your money, it's your county, it's your government. Let's see here. I want to put this up here. People do not generally oppose paying the extra penny in sales tax. We are all used to it. If you want to push people to the vote no, you got to educate them on why they should be opposed. And that's exactly, Catherine, what I just said we're going to do. We are going to educate those people. And to be honest, if we all recall, back in the early 2000s, Rockdale County did defeat a SPLOST. There were a small group of county residents who opposed the SPLOST. They worked against it, and they defeated the SPLOST. So just because it's something that we typically do and we typically allow the county to do, doesn't mean we always have to allow them to do it. And what I'm saying now is actually the reasoning that we should not support this SPLOST. First of all, they have not in this SPLOST included the things that are the most important to this county: water, sewer, stormwater, courthouse. Secondly, they have proposed a general amount of funds to be spent in different categories with no specific projects. We would request line item spending be allocated and line item spending be provided to the citizens of Rockdale County So we know exactly where those monies are going to be spent. Right now, it's estimated at 80 some million. This current SPLOST is going to come in at $90 million. The SPLOST that they're proposing here, with the way things are growing and escalating, and it will most likely be over $100 million. So the 80 some million that they're allocating is not all the funds they're going to get. They're going to get overage. So the overage will be allocated as percentile to those general categories. So guys, we're looking at the potential of $100 million in this SPLOST with no accountability, because there will be no specific project or line item spending. And that's unacceptable. It is totally unacceptable that we allow this Board of Commission this kind of control when they have showed no responsibility with our money. No responsibility whatsoever with our money. Now, they'll tell you they've been responsible, but they don't want a forensic audit. When they fired the CEO, I mean the CFO, the chief financial officer of this county this past year, two of the commissioners initially said, we need a forensic audit. But they backed off on that. We've got no forensic audit. In any corporation, if the CFO of that corporation is terminated, you will have an independent forensic audit. This Board of Commission has strayed away from that. And it's because they've got in my opinion, they don't want you to know some things about how they've spent money. That's exactly what's going on. Tommy Lee mentions about the Stonecrest mayor that was just arrested for mishandling COVID funds. And that's the thing about here. We really don't know how they spent COVID funds here. They said they spent it to how they needed it for shortfalls in the budget. Guys, if you read that legislation, that's not how the COVID money was supposed to be spent. It is not how the money was supposed to be spent. So if they can't tell us dollar for dollar how they spent that COVID money, then they spent that money improper. So guys, we've got to expect more of our elected officials. There's one thing. EFAT Walker does come from an accounting and fiscal background. So I would expect if EFAT Walker defeats Doreen Williams, I would expect EFAT Walker to do a better job being more accountable to the citizens of Rockdale County with the financial aspects of it. I would expect anyone who would take office other than these three to question the spending of what's going on. And that's what I believe, guys. I think the citizens of Rockdale County deserve better, and we deserve more. One other thing, I'm going to let you guys know something that the Rockdale Voter Group will be doing this election. The Rockdale Voter Group will be doing something called we're going to evaluate candidates that are running for office in Rockdale County. We will be sending out a questionnaire, and the questionnaire will have certain answers on it, and each answer will have so many points. And we're going to score these candidates on their electability and how well we think they would represent the citizens of Rockdale County. They're going to get a score. It'll be called candidate primary ranking. So, and the members of the Rockdale County of the voter group, the Rockdale Voter Group, we will come up with a system, the questions, and the ranking, and we'll send these out. And I expect all the challengers will fill this out. I doubt that the incumbents will fill it out, but that's fine. The incumbents have a voting record. The incumbents have a record that we can look on how they've spent money and what decisions they've made. So incumbents, it will be a lot easier to grade because they actually have a record. So in this ranking, we will look at their votes, how they've done, and in the challengers, we're going to ask them, they're going to get a survey. Now, the candidates are also going to get a survey. And if they send back the survey and their survey says they would do one thing, but their actions say they've done something else, then in their evaluation, we will let you know the candidate answered question 3, which is this way, but while serving as your representative or commissioner or whatever, this is what they've actually done. So that will question their integrity. That's why I doubt that I don't know if many of the elected officials will actually turn the survey in, because they might feel that they're going to get getting the crosshairs of something that that might get them in a little bit of deep water. But the Rockdale Voter Group does plan on doing that for the voters of Rockdale County. We plan on giving you a candidate primary ranking, and that will help you. And then after you get the candidate primary ranking, you see how these candidates rank that are running for office. Then you can go look this stuff up yourself and know. So, I mean, I think it's going to be a great thing. I think it's something that'll help the voters of Rockdale County, and we'll see how it goes. And we welcome your input, because I think on the website we're gonna have a chat that people can go in and talk about it and stuff, and we'll be setting that up. And as that's set up, we'll let you know about it. But it's going to be very interesting. What they might do, I hear you. Uh, oh yeah, but then like Megan said, platforms, various history will be accurate even if they don't participate, and that's correct. For those who serve right now, it is very easy to score them, because you have a history of their decisions, so they're very easy to score. Uh, uh, right now, who's running against Doreen is what William says. I know we have EFAT Walker. I know is running against Doreen, and I think one of the candidates that ran last time. I mean, I'm not going to say unless they come on the chat and say, but EFAT was actually on the show and declared her candidacy. So I can with confidence say EFAT Walker's running. And I think here, first week of March, if somebody else doesn't officially say, first week of March, we'll know when qualifying occurs. Yeah, Bill, I know Renee Simpson has put out there that she is running, and I've seen that. And now that you say it, that I'll say that. But for me, I can only say that EFAT Walker is running because she's personally told me she's running. So we'll see what's happening with that. But I do look forward to scoring with the Rockdale Voter Group. I think it's going to be interesting, and it's something that I think that the citizens of Rockdale County are going to enjoy when they see this ranking process and they see how these candidates rank. So I encourage each and every one of you this political season, get involved, help a candidate that you think is worthy, learn about the legislative process. Just to let you also guys know, and I have spoken with some of the members of the local delegation about the citizens, the senior citizens exemption from BOE tax. There is going to be legislation that's going to be dropped in the next week with that. Then I think it's going to be very promising legislation. When that drops, we will discuss it on the show and what it means to our seniors. I do know that the Board of Education has tried to talk this delegation out of it. They want to keep the system as it is, where you get a fixed dollar amount, which inflation has eat up. So that's crazy. Bill, we're still looking at the host thing as far as we've got a lot of signatures with that, but our issue with that is still unfortunately the COVID and people getting out. We get a lot of pressure about trying to get people out to do the signatures and the door to door. That's something, like I said, it doesn't have an expiration date on it. It's something we are going to get to, but I think it may be more of a general election type of thing that we get to, that we push this summer, get through some of these primary issues, and that's something I think we may have to push for a fall ballot. But I think that would be interesting to put that on the fall ballot about the host. I think it would overwhelmingly get bipartisan support, Democrat, Republican alike, just like the senior exemptions for Board of Education M&O tax. That has got so much support, and it's been a cross party. Party line has not been a factor in that with all the petitions that the Rockdale voter group has gotten concerning that. It has been 50-50 right down the line as far as those who signed that petition. I couldn't be more proud of this community for not letting that be a partisan issue, and that's a people issue. Senior citizens deserve a break. And when they just discussed that with this Board of Education and explaining to them that the local counties around here, other than them, actually do fair exemptions, and this county wants to stick to that dollar amount exemption. I think the max you can get is 35,000. In the last X number of years, the property values have risen. I'm saying with my hillbilly coming out, have risen so much that those dollar amounts, they don't matter anymore, and those dollar amounts don't help you. And if you're a senior, you're still paying taxes with the percent that they're going to do. And talking with the legislator, and I've spoken with Rhonda Taylor, and I'm going to tell you, I think Rhonda has a really good piece of legislation that's going to help the senior citizens. And I think from age 65 to 70, it's a certain percent. Then from 70 to 76, it increases. And at 76 years old, there's nothing. You pay nothing after 76 is, I think, how our legislation goes. But at 65, you get a significant percentage reduction. And then it just goes up from there. And the percent is the most important thing over the dollar amount, because if your property values continue to increase and you get the percent, then you don't get cheated. You still get your exemption, because that dollar amount can just be taken away by if the property values increase. So I think that Representative Taylor has a really good idea. I can't wait for that legislation to drop so that I can look at it and bring it on here and discuss it with you guys and see what goes on. CJ, the Rockdale Voter Group has been around for 4 years now, and we've fought several different issues, and we've been very effective. So there's a website, the Rockdale Voter Group. Go and look at it, and it's a group made up of Democrats, Independents, and Republicans, and they tackle nonpartisan issues. The issues that the Rockdale Voter Group tackle are issues that impact Rockdale County citizens, no matter what party you belong to. It's a fantastic group. I belong to it myself, and it's a group that I'm proud to belong to. So I recommend you to go to the website and check it out, CJ. I think you can't go wrong by doing that. Guys, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We've been on here for 45 minutes tonight. We've covered a lot of stuff. I've enjoyed the show tonight, and I've enjoyed your company. Next week, I hope to have some updates on some of the things we've talked about tonight. For the Board of Commission is going to be voting on a couple of proposals. The Board of Elections is going to be voting on some things, and then we're supposed to be getting some open records requests about the Sheriff's Department and the grant. So we should be able to follow up on everything that we've done. And you guys, reach out to Representative Taylor and tell her thank you and keep moving on this property tax exemption, because she needs to hear that. She really does need to hear that, because some people in the delegation are opposing her legislation, and I think she still has the votes to get that through local legislation. But guys, you guys need to let her know that you're behind her 100%. The Rockdale Voter Group has collected several thousand petitions, and they're going to be being sent to Representative Taylor this week. Charlotte, redistricting is a done deal. People can go look at the maps. I'll talk a little about that next week. But Rockdale goes from having 6 representatives in the House to 4, and we have 1 state senator. So Rockdale will go from having 8 representatives to 5. We will have 4 House members and 1 state senator. Rockdale County is just a casualty of redistricting, folks. What can I say? Didn't like how it went down. One of the reasons actually this year that Brian Strickland was moved out of uh, uh, 17 was moved out of Rockdale County. Don't think that needed to happen. We could have kept 17 in Rockdale County. Um, One of the reasons I'm actually working on the campaign of Brett Malden, who is running against Brian Strickland. Brett Malden, a fine conservative Christian man out of Morgan County, running for Senate 17, and I am working on his campaign and helping him diligently on a daily basis. So, guys, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me tonight. And I ask you to come back next week to This Week from Rockdale as we discuss these issues and many more. Thank you and good night.